Thinking about it, the president of one of our subsidiaries told me they have a new son-in-law. Could that be you? Yes, it's me. It's definitely me. Soon turning 60, right? It's about time to think about retirement. How do you know how old I am? No, I mean the current president of your company, your father-in-law. Huh? He's 60, right? I was thinking he should start considering retirement. So wait, are you also 60?
My name is Allie. I'm a 59-year-old divorcee. I'm currently living on my own. I divorced my husband, Sonny, a few months ago. We got a divorce because he had an affair. He and I were classmates in university, who remained close friends even after graduating. We began dating shortly after graduating, and after a few years, we got married. All of our ex-classmates were very excited that we got married. A few months after getting married, I became pregnant with our daughter. We were happy. But after our daughter grew up, got married, and moved out of the house, I discovered that Sonny was having an affair. I'm a nurse, and my schedule and lifestyle are erratic. My schedule doesn't align much with my husband's, who's a salesman. But on occasion, when our days off or schedules would happen to match up, we'd go out shopping or for dinner together. I first noticed that my ex-husband had changed a few months before our divorce. He had weekends off, but he began spending them away from home. I work both on weekends and weekdays, so at some point I had lost track of time completely. That's why at first I didn't notice that Sonny was always gone on the weekends. But I happened to have one Sunday off, and when I woke up that morning, I realized Sonny was gone. That evening when Sonny returned home, I asked him where he had gone. "Where'd you go today?" "I had the day off because I was on night shift last night. I thought we could spend the day together."
Ah, I was golfing.
"You started golfing?"
Yeah, I thought it'd be good exercise.
I noticed the golf bag on his back. "You bought that?"
Yeah.
My husband's family was poor when he was up, so he could be a bit obsessive when it comes to money. So he usually would never buy anything expensive. In the past, I've suggested to him that we get a gym membership together. But he immediately refused, saying there's no need to pay money to exercise. So you started golfing.
What? You want to complain? I'm spending my own money, so what's the problem?
That's true, but why'd you start?
You can make useful professional connections while golfing. You probably wouldn't get it as a woman.
My ex-husband is also 59 years old. He's only a few years away from retirement, but he suddenly started golfing in order to network? I didn't trust what he was saying, but he seemed like he was having fun, so I didn't want to pester him. But a few weeks later, I went out drinking for the first time in a while. It was a farewell party for one of my colleagues. I didn't have any work the next day, so I joined my colleague Zaria for a second round. We had our second round at a bar with a relaxed atmosphere. When we entered the bar, the first thing I saw was my ex-husband sitting at the counter. I was about to call out to him, but then I froze. "What happened?" It's nothing." There was a young woman seated next to him. "Where do you want to sit?" How about there?" The seats at the bar were nearly all full, but there were quite a few empty tables. I pointed at a table from which I could just barely see my husband and that woman. "Nice! Let's sit there." I was supposed to relax and enjoy a drink with Zaria, but my eyes remained glued to my ex-husband and the woman. Zaria noticed something was wrong. "Allie, What's wrong? Are you feeling drunk? You seem to be spaced out. Sorry, there's something bothering me. About work? No, it's personal, so don't mind me. Do you want to talk about it? Her kind words and the alcohol we were drinking got me talking. Even though the bar was relatively dark, I could see how Zarya's face got red out of anger. Which one is your husband? That guy. My ex-husband and the young woman were flirting so obviously that it was almost embarrassing. Oh, is your husband younger than you? The same age. He just looks younger than he is. He doesn't even have any gray hair. Sonny's parents also didn't get gray hairs until they were much older. Must be something genetic. He looks much younger than he is, so he often gets confused for being in his mid-40s, though he's nearing his 60s. How lucky. I wonder how much hair dye I use every year. Same here. But they look super sketchy. Why don't you ask him about it? After getting that advice from Zarya, when I got back home that evening, I waited for Sonny to return. But he didn't come home that night. All my doubts solidified. Afterwards, I hired a private investigator. They confirmed that he was having an affair. I immediately brought it up to my ex-husband. Hey, what's this? I said as I pulled out the results of the investigation. Sonny's face looked calm.
Ah, you finally noticed? I was thinking it was about time I finally tell you.
What?
Let's get divorced. I want to marry her.
What did you just say?
I've actually already proposed to her. I'll register my marriage to her as soon as you and I divorce.
Wait, what do you mean? Sonny handed me divorce papers that he had already signed.
All that's left is for you to sign these.
Wait a second.
If you don't sign now, I won't pay you even a penny in alimony.
Having him threaten me, I signed the papers. That was a few months ago. I'm now living on my own, and I've gotten used to it. My daughter worries about me, so she visits me occasionally. I still go to work as always, and days pass by as if nothing happened. Then, something unusual happened. One of the patients I was in charge of began hitting on me quite aggressively. His name is Joe. He's slightly older than me. Joe really likes you. He asked me about what you like today. The junior nurses I was taking a break with all giggled. He's probably just into nurses. I'm sure he'll forget me as soon as he's discharged. I don't think so. He seems serious. You're divorced, so why not? They all teased me. Please, don't tease me. I don't want to get into another serious relationship. After getting cheated on and abandoned by my husband, I had decided I won't be getting into another relationship in the future. Come on! Joe is pretty handsome. Joe was in a private room and had a few nurses in charge of him. Many important-looking men would come to visit him. Rumors spread around the nurses that he must be rich. A rich man like him must have a beautiful wife already. I wonder. My colleague, Jill's lips puckered up in a huff. A few days later, Joe was discharged from the hospital. I was working that day, so I went to say goodbye. Congrats on getting discharged.
Thank you. Thanks to you, I'm feeling much better now.
You should thank your body, not me.
Will you go out with me sometime?
My heart skipped a beat. Having a relationship with a patient?
I'm discharged from the hospital, so I'm not a patient anymore. It's a bit soon, but how does tomorrow work for you?
I work night shift tomorrow.
Then why don't we get lunch together?
Joe said the name of a popular coffee shop nearby. Huh? I couldn't help but be surprised. I expected he'd ask me out on a dinner date. If he wanted to have dinner and then A one-night stand I could have easily refused. But lunch...
I'll be waiting for you there tomorrow.
Saying that, Joe left the hospital. After that unexpected lunch invite, my impression of him improved. Afterwards, we met more and I began to develop feelings for him. With a few months, we began seeing each other every day. I didn't think I could be this happy after getting divorced. One day, Joe invited me to a party.
My company's having a party to celebrate the launch of a new product. I'd like you to come.
Someone like me attending a party like that?
It's okay. I'll be by your side the whole time.
I took the day off and bought myself a new dress. It was a chic, monotone dress that I thought suited my age. I waited at the entrance to the party and saw that Joe's car was approaching. I then heard a voice I recognized call out from behind me.
Hey, Allie, is that you?
I turned around and saw my ex-husband. He was wearing a youthful suit and spoke to me as if we were close friends.
Why are you here?
That has nothing to do with you, does it? I wanted to get away from him as quickly as possible. Sonny didn't care how I felt, so he continued talking to me.
You look as broke as you did before. Couldn't you dress a bit nicer? Look at everyone around us.
He grinned as he spoke. Why are you here?
This is my new job's party. I'm the company president's son-in-law. I used to just be a regular department manager, but now I'm the son-in-law of a president. I'm special.
Sonny laughed, full of pride. He was a salesman before we got divorced, but now he was at a completely different position. The woman Sonny got remarried to was the daughter of the president of a company that were his old clients. The president didn't have a son of his own, so he took in Sonny as his heir. After getting remarried, Sonny quit his old job and began working at his father-in-law's company. You're the heir at your age? How gross.
I look young, so I can fool them easily. Unlike you.
My ex-husband had fooled his wife about his age. He proudly spoke about how young he looked. Are you stupid? They're going to find out.
I'm good at what I do. I'll easily become the next president.
He said taking up golf was part of that. You'll get hurt eventually. Well, not that I care.
I've hit the jackpot. You have nothing to worry about. Do you have business with my wife?
At that moment, Joe appeared from behind Sonny.
What?
My ex-husband turned around while furrowing his eyebrows. But when he saw Joe, he went pale and his knees began shaking.
Boss? Oh, are you one of my employees? What is your connection with my wife?
I told Joe that he was my ex-husband.
Wife? You're the CEO's wife?
I got remarried. Yeah, after being swept away by Joe once he got discharged from the hospital, we got married. When we dated, I thought he was just a regular company employee. I found out Joe was the CEO of a huge corporation after we registered our marriage. When I found out, I thought I was going to collapse from shock. Sonny looked so astonished that his eyes seemed like they were about to pop out of their sockets.
Is that really okay? She's a divorcee and an old woman?
My ex-husband seemed frustrated by the fact I had gotten remarried to such a wealthy man.
To me, she's a cute younger woman. Anyway, I'm also a divorcee.
When Joe said that, Sonny looked uncomfortable. Joe and I had spoken about our marriage experience before we got married.
Thinking about it, the president of one of our subsidiaries told me they have a new son-in-law. Could that be you? Yes, it's me. It's definitely me.
Sonny replied, obviously satisfied with himself.
How old are you?
Sonny didn't reply.
Soon turning 60, right? It's about time to think about retirement. How do you know how old I am? No, I mean the current president of your company, your father-in-law. Huh? He's 60, right? I was thinking he should start considering retirement. So, wait, are you also 60? I heard you were supposed to be the next heir, but at that age? Well... Did he know about your age when he decided you'd be the heir? His daughter is around 30, right?
People began gathering around us to see what was going on. Worried about what would happen if others heard, Sonny ran away. Afterwards, my ex-husband was punished for scamming his wife and father-in-law. It became clear that he had hid his age in order to get married. Everyone found out because of our conversation at the party. Employees from Sonny's new company overheard. Rumors spread throughout the company, and eventually his father-in-law found out as well. He thought he had hit the jackpot, but that all disappeared in the blink of an eye. When they had registered their marriage, Sonny originally wrote the wrong year for his birthday and secretly fixed it right before submitting papers. He also didn't write his birth year on any of the documents he submitted when starting to work at his new company. His father-in-law was very strict, the type that would fire someone as soon as they went against him. He thought Sonny's age was a bit suspicious, but he didn't think much of it at the time. But the biggest victim here was the president's daughter, Sonny's new wife. She thought he was just slightly older than her. She was incredibly shocked to find out that not only was Sonny the same age as her father, but he was also a divorcee. She shut herself off from everyone completely. Sonny had to pay alimony to me and his new wife, as well as damages to various other people. Of course, he was fired. He wasn't allowed to return back to his original workplace either. He's now stuck working multiple part-time jobs to pay off his debts. As for me, it became time for me to retire from being a nurse and consider what I'll be doing from now on. Joe came to me with a plan.
I'm thinking of retiring soon.
What should we do from now on?
Why don't we try living abroad?
Abroad?
Actually, I have a villa in England. Why don't we try living there?
I felt conflicted at first, but I had no reason to refuse. 1 year later, Joe and I left the US. My daughter plans on visiting with her family soon. I'm now looking forward to living out the rest of my life with Joe.